Sir Michael Fabricant, thank you. Congratulations for coming here. Congratulations for being on the show. Great to have you here.
It's great to be here. Stop calling me sir. It's just Michael.
Well, you are a sir. Fantastic. Good to have you. Right, so you're out of this Celebrity Big Brother house. You know, what's it been like the last few days? Being in the spotlight, of course, and now you're back, being one of them, a mere mortal. What's it like being back?
Well, for a day or two, I was really quite sad because I've been in the Big Brother house, fully expected to loathe every single day and talk about me being sort of preconceptions about people, because the list of names of who was going to be in the Big Brother house was about as leaky as budgets are nowadays. And I sort of looked up all the people, because frankly I didn't know most of them, and I thought, oh God, I'm going to loathe her, I'm going to despise him. And they all turned out to be, well, maybe with the exception of a couple of people, they all turned out to be absolutely lovely. And I know people are in for Jack at the moment. I have
the comedy star, the Jack Shepherd.
They don't like him, and
yes.
But he's a lovely, lovely guy. And in fact, to be honest with you, I have downloaded the Big Brother app, and Jack got 5 votes from me
you
to stay in the house. So I hope he stays.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. How did you get the call? When you got the call, and what was it like? And what did you think when they sort of contacted you to come into Celebrity Big Brother?
Well, I didn't want to do it. So I have been asked in the past to do I'm a Celeb, Get Me Out of Here in Australia, and Celebrity Big Brother many, many years ago when it was Channel 4. And I said no for 2 reasons. One, I was an MP, and so I couldn't take the time off, all that amount of time.
Although some MPs
did, but you know, I'm not standing for Parliament again, but I will say, you know, I didn't want to let Lichfield down and not be around, so I said no, but then the offer came in and I said no, and they kept upping the price anyway.
Let's talk about money. You're not going to escape that, because we heard that Mickey Rourke, who also got booted out, not like you, but he got asked to leave, he was on £500,000. It's gone down to 90 grand apparently because he left early. But it's sort of bracket wise, was it good money?
It was good money. Let's put it this way. I told a well-known friend of mine, who I will not mention, but everybody knows in the West Midlands.
West Midlands.
And he said to me, why are you doing it? And I said, well, one, I want the experience, because I think it could be interesting.
Okay.
And B, and he says, well, even so. And he said, and I said B, and I told him how much I was getting, and he sort of pulled a face, but not a bad face. It was a face, you know. Well, not do it, but, well, I can understand the motivation.
Okay, come on, let's just talk dirty. 6 figures?
It was 6 figures, but I can't, my contract, they haven't paid it to me yet, so the contract says I can't say how much, and I'm not going to.
Okay, so look, you're in there, and you know, your entrance was great, you got a task straight away. If you're thinking, what are you talking about? If you've not watched it, go and watch it on demand or whatever, because when
ITVX.
Yes, ITVX.
Give them a plug on the BBC.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, just one plug, that's it, just one plug. But you go in and you're really nice to people and you're getting on with everybody, and then the nominations. And so, I mean, do you know who voted you out?
Yeah, I do now, because I actually did look at the show. But
were you surprised at any of them? Because you made friends with all of them.
Well, I made friends with all of them. I'm really surprised was Angelica saying I hadn't really spoken to her. She may be right, actually, because I remember having a long conversation with her, but I think it might have been after nominations. Of course, when you're in the Big Brother house.
That's the kids presenter, Angelica Bow.
Yeah.
That's
right. And when you're in the Big Brother house, you don't know who's nominated you or anything. But no, it was horrible. I didn't enjoy doing it because, you know, you were saying earlier on, it's crazy to do it that early on in the show. And we were all getting on. You have to name 2 people, and I went in and I just had 2 names, and Big Brother said, well, you can't use them because you haven't come up with a decent reason.
And let's talk about that, because look, I know you're sensitive. Look, you and I share something. We both have false hair on our heads. I've got my
partly we're not, you know, as I said to somebody, you know, it's all my own hair. I can show you the bill. It costs a fortune.
I've got my Beyonce extensions in. Hello, you look like Robert Redford. It's fine. So I mean, but you nominated Patsy Palmer because she asked you if you wear a wig.
Yeah, and I thought, well, why do that, you know. I mean, I know it's a great thing on social media, does he or doesn't he? And everybody's come to a conclusion I do. It's a bit more complicated than that, but I'm not going to dwell on that.
Look, I wear hair extensions, Michael, because I want to look like Beyonce. And, you know, good for you, because, you know, you have talking about, you know, your hair, and you are sensitive about it, and I will move on, I promise you. But, you know, it became a talking point because I think, you know, you were quite open at the beginning that you wear, you know, false hair.
I'm saying nothing. I'm not sure I was that open, was I? I don't know. They're looking bored through the glass. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Your hair looks great, you know, and I've got my receipt as well. Now, look, you're out of the Big Brother house now. You were, some will say, you know, one of the longest MPs. You lost your Lichfield seat, as you know, after more than 30 years of being an MP in 2024. You weren't the only one. You know, obviously the Conservatives took a hammering. What do you think about how the party is now? How is it rebuilding? Are you happy with the new leader, Kemi Badenoch?
Well, I didn't think we were going to get political.
Well, let's do it.
But you know what? Let's do it. Let's fall in love. I'm not in love with Kemi. I feel that others are doing all the heavy lifting. In particular, Rob Jenrick, who's a friend of mine, but then I'm biased because he's a friend of mine. I know it's early days, but, you know, I think, you know, the leader shouldn't be dependent on others.
Okay. But also, are you kind of scared for your former colleagues? Let's say scared because Reform are coming down the train. Nigel Farage seems to be gathering pace because they could potentially ease the Conservatives out as the second party. Are you kind of worried?
Well, you know, I really have turned my back on it all. I mean, I'm helping doing some leafleting for the local elections, but you know, it's up to the MPs and the Conservative Party. I think Labour must be thinking, boy, are we lucky that we've got a divided right of centre situation with Reform. Really, you know, it seems to me that what would make sense, but nobody will do it, what would make sense is where Reform are strong is for the Conservatives not to put up a candidate, and where the Conservatives are strong
so play along with them.
For Reform not to put up a candidate. But they won't do that because, you know, you go into a general election and you say, we're going to be a national party. But you know what? A lot of votes will be wasted, split, because that's what happened in Lichfield. Split. The people who voted Reform, and I don't blame them, you know, we've had 14 years of government and the argument time for a change is compelling, but the people who voted Reform certainly weren't voting for a Labour MP, nice guy that he is, Labour MP and a Labour government.
You say you don't want to get back into politics, but look at the guys. You've got the energy to still get into politics. Well, listen, we have got some questions. Well, one particular question from a very...
not about hair.
No, not about
Promise
hair.
me, not about hair.
It's not about hair. It's not about hair. But it is about, well, it is about something very interesting involving a bike and a kipper tie. Okay, so we will reveal all.
This is not the naked bike ride.
Oh, Lord, it could be. More on that in just a moment. With former Lichfield MP Michael Fabricant, who was, of course, recently in the Celebrity Big Brother house. Was the first one to be booted out or kicked out, which I thought was like nuts because I thought you were very entertaining. But you're here for your last little chat here on the afternoon show. Are you enjoying yourself, Michael?
I am enjoying myself very much.
It's the first time that we've met. I've interviewed you on the radio before, but it's the first time we met face to face.
Yeah, I'm going for a drink later on, so I thought what could be better but to come into the studio and going to the Tap and Smile pub, which closed for a while and I'm told is now open, so I'll be very disappointed if it's not. It's just on the canal, a few yards down from here.
And of course, the pubs are available. We are the BBC.
Other pubs are available, yes, that's right. Yes.
But look, you're at the Big Brother house. Did you enjoy it?
I did, and it was such a big surprise because they were such lovely, lovely people. I mean, Jack, as I think I was saying earlier on, is getting really bad social media.
Well, he's up for eviction tonight.
He's up for eviction,
with
but
Patsy
I Did I? I'm forgetting. This is terrible. I'm forgetting what I was talking to you about when the mics were off and when and Elton was playing, and what I actually said. Did I tell you? I've downloaded the Big Brother app, and
you mention that again.
Five votes I did for Jack. If anybody's listening, vote for Jack to stay in the Big Brother house.
Can I quickly? We got a little question from Richard in Lichfield to tell you and get a reaction in just a moment. But Mickey Rourke, of course, he was asked to leave the Big Brother house. Very sort of inappropriate behaviour, inappropriate comments. You sort of got on with him, didn't you, in the house ish, or did you?
Right, it's very difficult to get on with Mickey because he really was on another planet. I mean, he.
Do you think he was misunderstood or just not a nice person?
I don't think he was not a nice person. I just think he was on a completely different, dimension. It's like Doctor Who. I just don't think there was communication there.
Okay, before we play this question, who do you think is going to leave? I mean, you've got Patsy Palmer, Trish Goddard, of course, the former TV host.
Well, I hope Trisha goes for various reasons,
honestly.
or Patsy. They were the two I'm not that friendly with.
All right.
Jack, I'm very friendly with, and hope that he stays.
Right.
He's just a quiet guy. People don't realise that many actors are quite shy, and he's quite shy.
And who's going to win Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother?
Well, I think probably because he's a game player, it might be Chris, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he plays. But you know who I'd love?
In case people are thinking, who's Chris? He was on Love Island.
He was on Love Island,
right.
But the guy I really want to win, the one who hugs me and kisses me and then says, Danny the drag queen, who then kisses and hugs me, and it's quite mutual. We're
hello.
We're in a bit of a relationship, I admit, but And but every time he does it, he says, "I can't believe I'm kissing a Tory."
He's very funny. Now look, we're running out of time. Richard in Lichfield knew you were coming on. We've had a lot of reaction to you coming on. Some good, some not so good. But anyway, Richard in Lichfield had this question for you. So, you need to put your headphones on. Put your headphones on, otherwise you won't hear it. And I wanted to ask you it, but I wasn't brave enough. So here we go. Have a listen.
It's not hair again, is it?
No, it's nothing to do with your hair. We've both got false hair. Well, anyway, listen, here we go. Here's Richard's question.
Ask him if he ever did his naked bike ride and he was going to wear a big kipper tie. That's the sort of thing. Now he mentioned it, this isn't a joke, to cover his bits. That's the sort of person he was. I'm serious. He wanted volunteers, but I looked and I couldn't find. I was going to do it, I'll be honest. Give it a laugh.
So, Michael, is this true? This Nike?
Yes, it is all true. And the terrible thing was, it was shown in August. I did it for our local hospice, St Giles Hospice, to raise money for them. And it was shown in August, but the problem was it was filmed in March. So I was very white, very goose pimply, and all the fat of winter was stored up inside me, so it was not a pleasant sight at all. But I did do it. But I think what Richard's referring to was I thought we could get a naked bike ride going in Lichfield, but the people of Lichfield, very Lichfield, so I don't think the Dean of Lichfield Cathedral, particularly now she's a lady, was very, very keen on leading the bike ride, so that really went a bit flat. But I'm still working on it. Jan, Dean of Lichfield, if you're listening, come on! We can do it. You can hide your modesty with your cross.
Well, let's just hope your bike chain is tucked well away. Michael Fabricant, it's been a pleasure to be having you in the studio. Best of luck with whatever happens next.
Thank you very much.